You're a Wraith main who thinks that you're so good that you always take fights solo, you always land by yourself, and when you die, you immediately leave the game. And you blame your teammates on being slow, and you blame your teammates on being trash. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is possible to like 1v2 or 1v3 certain scenarios, but a lot of Wraith mains kind of think that they're better than they actually are, and they try to pull off insane ASU plays and insane just like 1v3 plays, and they can't. They simply can't. And when they die, they blame their teammates on being too defensive and too trash. But here's a newsflash, Wraith mains. Your teammates aren't trash. You are trash because you think that they're actually good enough to pull off a 1v3 when you can't. Alright guys, so how would you describe a bad Apex Legends player? Would you say that somebody needs to have really bad aim to be considered a bad player? Would you say that somebody needs to have bad map awareness, bad positional awareness, or does a bad player only use like really OP stuff? How would you describe somebody in this game who isn't that good? If you guys haven't guessed by the title of the video or by what I just said, we're gonna be talking about some signs of a not so good player in Apex Legends. No, this video is not meant to be taken seriously, guys. I feel like when I make these videos, people tend to, take it very seriously and take what I say to heart. It's just a chill video. It's just kind of like a light-hearted video, guys, and it's not meant to offend or, be taken too seriously. Obviously, everybody has different skill levels. Everyone starts off somewhere, and obviously then you improve and you become a better player as you play. But I think most of us at this point in Apex's life cycle, we can all spot some signs of a not so good player. We all have like one or two friends who just can't play this game too good. And for you guys who kind of catch my drift on what I'm talking about right now, this should be a very, fun video for you to watch. I was once a terrible player at this game, and people still call me trash to this day, so I don't really take offense to that, and it's just, as I said, a very light-hearted video for you guys to watch. So before I give you guys my signs of a terrible player in this game, what are some signs that you look for in a bad player in Apex? Like, what do you see someone do and just automatically think that they're trash? Leave those comments down below. I want to share your thoughts as always. And also, guys, drop a like on the video. A like goes a very long way on YouTube. I always say this, but a like is very, very much appreciated as well. So with that said, let's talk about these signs of a terrible player in Apex. Alright, so first up, if your main gun is the Spitfire and you refuse to use any other gun in this game, like you won't even jump into a gunfight unless you find a Spitfire, then you most likely rely on that gun and you're most likely not too good. The Spitfire in its current state is a very, very easy gun to use. It has little to no recoil, it has a very huge mag, and it's kind of like regarded as the butt weapon in this game for a very good reason. It's insane. It's really, really good. And if you're someone who refuses to get into any gunfights unless you found the Spitfire, then I'm kind of looking at you different, because as I said, that tells me that this person relies on the Spitfire. So no mean to offend anyone who uses this gun all the time, but Spitfire players are usually not the best, especially players who love to use the Spitfire only in this game. And to take this even one step further, right? If you use the Spitfire and you still can't kill someone in one clip, then you need to head back to the firing range right now and work on your aim and work on your gun skill, because it should not take anyone more than one magazine to kill someone when using the Spitfire, or at least to down someone. Even if you have no heavy mag on it, you still should be able to kill someone with one clip, and if you can't, it's because your aim isn't good and you're most likely not so good at this game. So sorry, not sorry. Another really big sign of a bad player in this game is someone who doesn't like the R99, or someone who thinks the R99 is a bad gun to use. Anyone who tells you that the R99 is, not a very good gun is someone who basically cannot control the recoil of the R99 and they can't hit their shots, because everyone knows really that the R99 is the best gun up close. Like, if you actually hit your shots up close, it has the highest damage per second, so it is a very, very strong gun. And even if you have good aim, the gun is still pretty good at medium range too. So anyone who refuses to use the R9 because they think it's, trash, or it has too much of recoil, or it's just not a very good gun, most likely can't control the recoil and most likely doesn't have good aim. So anyone who says that the R9 isn't very good most likely isn't very good themselves, because the R9 is one of the best guns in this game, especially close range and sometimes even medium range. So if you're watching this video right now and you think the R9 is trash, well, yeah. Also guys, jump masters who always tend to land safe in pubs. If every single time you land in Apex you tend to go to very safe drops or places where there's no one around those areas, because you want to kind of, get loot and just avoid gunfights straight off the rip, and you're doing this in pubs, then most likely you're kind of afraid to get into gunfights, and you're most likely not very good, because it doesn't really matter too much if you die off drop or if you jump really hot in pubs, because it's pubs. And quote unquote good players in Apex tend to drop hot anyway, because the more hot drops you can actually do, the more gunfights you get into, and the better your aim, the better your reflexes and stuff just becomes, because you're in more gunfights. So if anyone who plays this game doesn't want the smoke and always drops safe whenever they're playing pubs, then they most likely are afraid to get into gunfights, which tells me that you're trash. No offense. Alright guys, this next one is big. If you loot for half of the game, get into one gunfight, and then die, you're 100% a bad player in Apex. I mean, I feel like everyone has experienced somebody in this game who just loves to loot. They're always behind, they're always trying to find the best loot, and as soon as they jump into one gunfight, they die. Obviously, loot is an important factor in Apex. Loot is very important, of course, but so is fighting, guys, and so is knowing when to push and when to actually jump into gunfights. And if you're only trying to loot for the entire match just to die as soon as you find one person, then what's the point of even looting? It doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, this is a big one. This is a big one for sure. If you loot the entire match and you die as soon as you see one person, then for sure, you're not a very good player in this game, and that's just facts. And this next sign kind of piggybacks off of my last sign, and this is that if you're always lagging behind your teammates, if you find yourself always just behind, always a good distance behind your teammates as well, it's a good sign that you're not very, I would say, aware, because good players tend to loot very quickly, and good players tend to know where to rotate, where to push, where to move next. And if you're always just behind, always trying to keep up, it's a very good sign that you just don't have that skill as yet that you need to have to really be a great player in Apex. And this is very common in pubs, especially when I'm playing with randoms. Very common, and I'm sure you guys could relate. I'm sure you guys could relate to that. You main caustic and you think you requires the most skill to play in this game. I don't really need to explain what that means, but if you know, you know. You think Respawn is nerfing Gibby too much. I feel like good players, even after all of these nerfs that Gibby has gotten, good players know that Gibby is still a very strong legend in this game, and good players also know that Gibby needed to get nerfed. Even a good Gibby main would understand that Gibby was in a very kind of borderline OP position at one point. I feel like only bad players in this game would really get upset because of these recent Gibby nerfs, because the nerfs honestly make sense. Gibby's gun shield nerf to me makes 100% sense, and Gibby not being able to heal twice as fast while he's in the bubble also makes sense to me. And it also should make sense to players who understand how the meta of this game works, So if someone is really upset because they think Respawn is nerfing Gibby into the ground and Gibby is now a bad legend because of these nerfs, then they most likely just relied a little bit too much on Gibby's gun shield, and they don't really understand that Gibby was in fact insanely strong. Because for example, right, even though I play Horizon a lot, I know Horizon's Q is insane. It does need to get nerfs, but I still main Horizon, So I feel like good players could kind of understand when their mains are just a little bit too strong. I feel like bad players don't understand that. So yeah, if you think Gibby has been getting nerfed too much, then yeah, that honestly tells me exactly what I need to know. You miss more than 3 Mastiff shots in a row. Now everyone has had bad days with the Mastiff. Like I tend to miss shots sometimes. I miss like 2 shots in a row sometimes, but if you tend to miss more than 3 shots in a row very often, then that's a very good sign that your aim is terrible and you're not very good in this game. No one should be missing more than 3 shots in a row when using the Mastiff. That's just insane, that's just terrible, and yeah, that's not good. Another really big sign of a bad player, guys, is Octane mains who are just so aggressive. They push or fight, they die instantly. They ping the enemy and they say the enemy is one shot. The enemy isn't one shot. You push and then you die because the Octane main lied about the enemy being one shot when the Octane main was just a little bit too aggressive to begin with. I feel like there are so many random Octane mains who just don't really know when to push. They just push every single time because they have the ability to push. They die, they leave, and that's not a very good player. This kind of Octane main just gives Octane players on a whole a very bad rep. So yeah, if you play Octane like this, then you're not a very good player in this game and you need to stop. Also guys, Lifeline mains who focus on rezzing their teammates instead of even trying to shoot back. Now obviously Lifeline mains are supposed to res, but if you have a very clear shot at someone and you don't take it all because you want to res your team, to me that just doesn't make any kind of sense. Like of course Lifeline is supposed to res her teammates, guys, but if someone has, well, if a Lifeline has a very easy shot, a very easy kill on someone, but because they're so focused on rezzing their teammate that they completely disregard that shot, and I see Lifelines doing this all the time, to me it says that that Lifeline is very kind of, you know, not confident and doesn't have too much skill. Like, I have been playing Apex on so many different occasions where I'm one shot and all the Lifeline has to do is just shoot me once, but they focus on rezzing their teammate, completely disregarding me, and I'm able to beam the Lifeline who's trying to get to the teammate because they didn't even consider shooting back. So don't be that kind of Lifeline main, guys. Have some confidence, have some, you know, awareness, and if anyone plays Lifeline like that, then yeah, that's a sign of a not so good player in this game. You're a Wraith main who thinks that you're so good that you always take fights solo, you always land by yourself, and when you die, you immediately leave the game. And you blame your teammates on being slow, and you blame your teammates on being trash. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is possible to like 1v2 or 1v3 certain scenarios, but a lot of Wraith mains kind of think that they're better than they actually are, and they try to pull off insane ASU plays and insane like just like 1v3 plays, and they can't. They simply can't. And when they die, they blame their teammates on being too defensive and too trash. But here's a news flash, Wraith mains. Your teammates aren't trash. You are trash because you think that they're actually good enough to pull off a 1v3 when you can't. So stop being so overconfident, relax yourself, and play the game how it's supposed to be played, because you're trash. Alright guys, so that's all of the signs I have today of a bad player in Apex Legends. I most likely will do a part 2, so leave your comments down below of what you think makes a bad player in this game. And also guys, don't take offense to this video, it was simply just for fun and it isn't meant to be taken too seriously, right? Everyone should have some kind of sense of humor, or at least I hope so. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in some more Apex. Till next time.